this just in case. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and now give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. It looks like it says 1:07 p.m. It's like a big Zoom meeting. Okay, so I'm going to get into Schoology, if I can get this bar away from me. Okay, so today is Monday. So once you're in Schoology and click on Monday, we're all following the Group A schedule. So you click Group A. This first page here is a paper for your parents just to get them associated with what we're going to be doing in math. And then right here is a welcome video of the ladies who are part of our new math program. So they're going to tell you just a little bit about what we're going to be, the process that we'll be using. If at any time you guys are having trouble, just unmute yourself and let me know.
Hi friends, my name is Mrs. Bradley. I was a teacher in Louisiana for 18 years, and I love teaching math. And my name is Miss Bertini. I was a teacher in California for 10 years, and I also love teaching math. We want to officially welcome you as part of our virtual class. Even though you may be at home, we want you to participate as if we were together in class. Throughout this module, we may ask you to draw models to show your thinking, look for patterns in the problems that you're solving, and ask questions to build your understanding. You also will need a few materials for each lesson. Every time we have a lesson together, be sure to have your whiteboard, your dry erase marker, today's problem set, and a pencil. Sometimes during lessons, you'll need other materials. We'll let you know what those are before the lesson begins. As a member of our class, make sure you're prepared and have your materials ready to go before you start watching the assigned video. At the end of each lesson, we'll summarize your assigned tasks. And remember, you can always pause the video or revisit parts of the video for extra support. So that's it. We can't wait to get started. See you soon.
Okay, so when you visit Zoom, when you visit Schoology, that was the first video for today. And then if you just follow down in Monday, almost use this like a checklist. So this will be something for your parents to read. This is a video to welcome you to the program. And then right here, when we get finished today, I would like you to try this welcome video test quiz. When you click on there, it's going to ask you a question. It's multiple choice. You'll click right here, and it says, what 4 items should you bring to every math Zoom meeting? And so that's going to send me a score for you, and I just want to see if that part of the program's working. So it's a little test quiz, and then here's today's lesson 1 video. So right here it tells you, please have your whiteboard marker and a pencil ready before you begin watching this video. And then when you're finished, it has the problems that I would like you to complete. The problems that you're going to be completing are in your student workbook. So if you look in your orange math folder, you should see a spiral bound notebook, and on the outside it says student workbook. And if you can find that, hold it up to your screen so I can see it. I see Trace has it, and Sarah, and Seth. Peyton, do you have that book? Olivia, do you have this? Yep, that one looks good. Hayden, do you have that book? Spiral. It's in your, where's your orange math folder? Look inside your orange math folder. Bella, Nina, Sophia, do you guys have this book? Okay, I see Sophia's. Bella, where's your student workbook?
My sister's going to see if I have it.
Okay. Hayden, does that say, yep, you got it. Nina, do you have this book somewhere? It should be in your orange math folder.
I'm looking for it right now.
Okay. Yeah, there you go, Bella. That's the correct one.
I don't see the notebook. I don't see it in my folder.
Where's your orange folder?
It's right here.
Okay. And do you have anything inside of it?
It says exit ticket pack, and I just had these two.
Okay, you don't, is anyone at home with you that might have taken it out?
Not that I know of.
No. Okay, well, then today you'll just have to follow along with us, and I'll check with your mom to see if maybe she has it, and if not, we'll have to get you a new one.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, so we're gonna watch this lesson 1 video together. And then we'll go ahead and do the practice problems. Okay, so I just want to before we get started, I want to let you know, they use a lot of terms in here or phrases that you might not be familiar with. So what we're really doing in this lesson today is looking at the different place value and the relationship as you move in your place value chart from one place to the next.
Hi friends, I'm Mrs. Gradney, and today we'll be using multiplication to compare place value units. Let's get started. Let's begin with something that you may already know, because it's always important to be thinking about how what we're learning now is connected to what you already know. Here I have an unlabeled place value chart with 4 columns. How many units do you see?
Okay, so if you look at the place value chart in front of you, it asks, how many units do you see? So if someone wants to unmute themselves, and what do you see on the place value mat?
1,
Seth, what do you see?
4,
I couldn't understand what you said, honey.
4,
4?
Yeah, 4.
No, you shouldn't see a 4. Look right here. What do you see?
1,
1. Very good. So what place value is the smallest place value? Do you remember what it's called?
1.
Go ahead.
1s,
It's the 1s. Very good. And right now we have 1, 1 in that column.
1 unit. And what's the unit called? It's a 1. Count with me now as I place more 1s on our place value chart.
So go ahead and count with her at home.
So that's
1, 1, 2 1s, 3 1s, 4 1s, 5 1s, 6 1s, 7 1s, 8 1s, 9 1s, 10 1s.
Now that we have 10 1s, what new larger unit can we make?
So if we were able to exchange these 10 1s, we could take these 10 1s, and what could we trade them in for? Anyone know? Sarah, what do you think? What could we trade the 10 1s in for? Sarah, what can we trade the 10 1s in for?
Didn't hear me. 110.
Very good, 110.
Maybe we should put it up closer so we can hear. Not sure where the speaker is.
We can bundle these 10 1s
So when we talk about bundling, we're going to be
to
circling
make a new
the
larger
unit.
unit. 110. And we can say 110 is 10 times as much as 1 1. Now you say it.
Okay, go ahead and say that to yourself. And then I want you to think, what multiplication equation would demonstrate that 1 is 10 times as much as 1? What do you think? 1 times what gave us 10? Seth?
10.
Very good. So up here, this sentence, 10 is 10 times as much as 1. That's just like saying 1 times 10 equals 10.
Pause the video now and explain out loud what this statement means.
And that's what we
Use
just
the
did.
model to help you. You may have said something like 10 ones makes 110. Or maybe you said something like 10 times 1 1 equals 10 ones, which equals 110. Let's use another unit now. How many units do you see?
Okay, so we're
One
to see
unit.
110 in front of
What's
them.
the unit called? It's a 10. Count with me now. And again, we'll count in unit form as I place more 10s on our place value chart.
Okay, so boys and girls, if this wasn't going to be our first day of the lesson, this is what you would be doing at home before you would meet with me. So when she does ask you to count with her, I mean, it may seem silly because you're at home alone, but it is good practice to just say like 110, 210, and follow along with her just like you would be doing if you were with me in class. Also, when she asks you to stop and pause, even if you don't have anyone to discuss these answers with at home, you should still pause it and try to see if you can take what you're thinking in your head and actually practice saying it out of your mouth, because that will really be useful whenever we then get together and do the pages in your journal.
So that's 110,
2 10s, 3 10s, 4 10s, 5 10s, 6 10s, 7 10s, 8 10s, 9 10s, 10 10s.
Now that we have 10 10s, what new larger unit can we make?
So now we're going to be moving to the left again. So we could trade in these 10 10s for one what? What do you think, Hayden? Do you know how to, there you go. For some reason I can't hear you. Maybe that's your microphone. Can you, let me move your computer down a little so I can see your mouth and I could probably read your lips. 10, 10, there you go. You can trade that in for one what? 100, is that what you said? All right, let's see.
We can bundle these 10 10s to make the new larger unit of 100. How can we describe the relationship of these place value units that we just modeled on our place value chart? Use this sentence frame to help you.
So here, you should be putting in that one blank
You
is,
could say 100 is 10 times as much as 110.
so when you are saying 100, that's what you have right here with this 100 disc, is like 10 times as much as 110. So that's why she laid down the 10 10s in this column.
10 10s make 100. 10 times 110 is 10 10s, which equals 100. Let's use another unit now.
So now we just keep moving to the left.
One unit. And what's the unit called? It's 100. Count with me again as I place more hundreds on our place value chart. And again, we'll count in unit form. So that's 100, 200s, 300s, 400s, 500s, 600s, 700s, 800s, 900s, and 10 hundreds. Now that we have 10 hundredths, what new larger unit can we make? We can bundle these 10 hundredths to make a new larger unit of 1,000. How can we describe the relationship between these place value units that we just modeled? Use this sentence frame to help you.
So now we should be putting in the thousands. So 1,000 is 10
We would
times
say
as much as 1.
1,000 is 10 times as much as 100.
So here you're taking 100 and multiplying 100 by 10. That's why we have 10 discs here to get you your 1,000.
What does this statement mean? You may have said something like 10 hundredths makes 1,000. Or 10 times 100 is 10 hundredths, which equals 1,000. Take a moment now to think about how we composed ones, tens, and hundreds into larger units. Pause the video and talk out loud to explain any patterns that you noticed as we composed place value units.
Okay, folks, so as we moved from ones to tens, tens to hundreds, and hundreds to thousands, what pattern did you notice? What did we multiply by for every single place value as we moved to the left? Seth?
10 times.
But by 10, very good. So that should show you that in a place value chart, every place is 10 times bigger than the one before.
You may have noticed that every time we got 10 of a unit, we bundled them together to make one of the next larger unit. You may have also noticed that if we take any of these place value units, the unit directly to the left is 10 times as much. Let's review the multiplication pattern now that matches our model and 10 times as many. Take a look at our first composition. An equation that matches this composition is 110 equals 10 times 1, 1. We can say 110 is 10 times as much as 1, 1. Now you say it.
110 is 10 times as much as 1, 1.
Let's look at our next composition. An equation that matches this composition is 100 equals 10 times 110. We can say 100 is 10 times as much as 110. Now you say it.
Okay, now at home you should be saying 100 is 10 times as much as 110.
An equation that matches this composition is 1,000 equals 10 times 100. We can say 1,000 is 10 times as much as 100. Now you say it.
1,000 is 10 times as much as 100.
It's important to notice these place value patterns and to keep them in mind because they're going to help us to understand larger numbers. Now, grab your paper or personal whiteboard. I'd like everyone to join me this time when we draw. We need 4 columns. And this time, let's draw our place value discs as dots.
Okay, so now on your whiteboard, I want you to draw 1 horizontal line going this way, and then 3 vertical lines to give yourself 4 columns. And at the top, we'll label it thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. So go ahead and do that now. Nina, I think your mom said your dad found your book. Okay,
Yeah.
good, good. Okay, now, I really think drawing these on the whiteboard is really going to help you when you do your practice, because even when I was at home this weekend and I was looking over the lesson, I drew all of them and it really made more sense to me. So after you have this chart drawn, give me a thumbs up so I know you're ready.
I need to go grab my marker, my whiteboard
Okay.
marker.
Okay.
Okay. Now put your thumbs up when you're ready. Get up to the screen. There you go.
While we're waiting for everyone to get their things and get ready, this is Miss Anchor. She's going to be our building summit nicely this year. Can you guys say hi to her?
Say hi.
Hi.
Hello. You might have seen her around before. She's been in
Hi.
Miss Bedazzle's class for some days. So she wanted to see what it was like with having the kids at home. So she's hanging out with me in the library for a little bit just to see how we're trying to get things up and running. So if you see her in the background, that's who it is. Okay, so as we work through this video, you're going to see that we always want to read the question and start with what information the question's actually giving us. And we're going to draw that first. Then we'll take into consideration the 10 times bigger, and then we'll draw additional discs to show 10 times more than the original number that we start with. Okay? So I'm going to make you guys small again so I can see the screen.
Like this. And because we're just going to be using dots,
We're going to use
we need
dots
to
instead of
label
the
our
circles.
colors with the unit value. So pause the video now and set up your place value chart just like mine is, and press play when you're ready to go.
So it's nice that she tells you when to pause and when to go so that when you are doing these on your own, you'll give yourself some time to prepare.
Now let's draw 2 1s.
Draw 2 1s.
Okay,
Pause the
so
video to find 10 times as many as 2 1s to complete the equation.
okay, so everyone should draw the 2 little dots in the ones column. Now, what are we going to do to show 10 times as many as those 2 dots? So I'm gonna
2 9. 8. You need 8 more ones. Right?
So here are my 2 ones. Here are my 2 ones. Now to show 10 times more, I'm going to start with my 2 ones, and I'm going to turn each of these into a row of 10. Almost like making an array, back to when you first learned about multiplication. So I initially had my 2 ones, and then so since I'm going 10 times more, I'm going to put 10 in my first column, 10 in my second column.
There you go. And
So then if you see the sentence on the board or on the computer in front of you, it says 10 times as many as 2 ones is how many ones? So look in your ones column, how many ones do we have here?
20.
Seth?
20.
We have 20 ones. Now we have to figure out how many tens that is. So how many ones do we need to make a 10? Bella, what do you think? How many ones do I need to make a 10?
10.
Bella, do you remember what it was called when the teacher was telling us we put them together like that?
10 ones.
Right. Do you remember what she called it though when you're putting the circle around them? This is what we're going to call bundle them. So we're going to bundle those guys together, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to put 1 dot in the tens column because these 10 ones are now giving us 1 10. Can I make any more tens? Anyone? Can I make any more tens? Do I have enough ones, Sophia?
Yes.
So I can bundle these, Sophia, and that gives me another what?
Another 10 ones. Or
Yeah, so
bundle.
good, another bundle. We're going to put another dot in the tens column. So, Sarah, 21s equals how many tens? Yep. Trying to write upside down. That's
10.
awful.
2.
2. There you go. So 21s. On my screen, does that look backwards or does this say 21s and 2 10s or is it backwards?
Yes. No, it's
It looks
not.
okay. On my screen, it looks like I'm looking into a mirror, so it looks backwards to me. Okay, but as long as you guys can see it. Okay, so we could complete this sentence by saying 10 times as many as 2 1s equals 21s or 2 10s. I think the picture helps to really like represent what those words are because I think it's really confusing without the drawing.
Press play when you're ready to continue.
Now you're gonna check your drawing to see if it matches up with hers.
10 times as many as 2 1s equals 21s, which equals 2 10s. We can write this another way. Watch. We can write 10 times 2 1s equals 21s, which equals 2 10s. Pause the video and explain why this equation makes sense.
And that's what we just did.
Use the model to help you explain. I was thinking that 10 times 2 1s means the same thing as 10 times as many as 2 1s. We can see in the model 10 times as much as 2 1s is 21s. Then we can compose those 21s to make 2 10s. Let's try another one. Pause the video and write an equation to find the value of 10 times as many as 4 hundreds. Use the place value chart if you need to, and press play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so now I kept the top of mine the same and I just erased my work. So now let's start with what information they gave us. We have 10 times as many as 400s. So we know we need how many hundreds?
Oh, you're bored.
If you know, you can unmute yourself and say how many hundreds? Look at the statement here. How many hundreds are we going to start with? Anyone? 4. So I have my 4 dots in my hundreds place. Now, how will I show 10 times as many as this? What am I going to add on?
Ten each row.
Very good, Trace. So now I'm going to make an array with 10 in each column. 4, 5, 6, 10. Okay, so your board should look like this. We start with 400s and then we put 10 in each column.
The dots.
And now we're going to think about how many hundreds do we need to turn it into 1,000? What can we bundle together, Peyton? Peyton, do you have any ideas? What could we bundle together in the hundreds to create 1,000? Go ahead, Peyton.
We can bundle.
How many hundreds do we need? So think about your flats. If we had our base 10 blocks, how many flats would we need to make one big cube, 1,000? Do you know, Peyton?
It's hard to hear because like it's blowing out for me a lot. So
Okay. Seth, how many hundreds do we need to make 1,000?
10.
10. So I'm going to bundle together one group of 10 hundreds to give us 1,000. Then I can make a second bundle, a third bundle, and a fourth. So Sarah, we had 10, 20, 30, we had 40 hundreds here. How many thousands are the same as 40 hundreds?
4.
Very good. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, went the whole way back to the beginning. Hold on 1 second. There we go.
And press play when you're ready to continue. Here's my equation. Is yours similar? Let's read it out loud.
10 times 400 equals 4,000.
How do we know this equation is true?
So if we would take that and take her words and numbers and write 10 times 400, this is how we could check our work. So she wrote 400s using a number and words. So if I write 10 times 400 this way, and I take away my 1, 2, 3 zeros and put it in my answer, I'm left with 1 times 4 equals what, Olivia? What's 1 times 4?
One times 4 equals 4.
Very good. So here we have 10 times 400 equals 4,000. And if you look at the screen, that matches up. So we're pretty much just like we can translate English to Spanish and French to English. We could also, just like we've been practicing writing numbers in word form, standard form, and expanded form, we can take these words and turn them into equations.
Pause the video to talk out your thinking and press play when you're ready to continue. You may have noticed that this equation leaves out 40 hundredths. We know that 10 times 4 hundredths would be 40 hundredths. But because we know that 10 of any smaller unit gives us 1 of the next larger unit, 40 hundredths equals 4,000. I still thought about that part, but I didn't record it in my work. Let's move into the problem set. The must-do problems for the Lesson 1 problem set are on the screen. Set a timer or watch the clock for 10 minutes and work on these problems. If you finish the must-do problems within those 10 minutes and you still have extra time, feel free to try any of the other problems in the problem set. Today, we thought about using multiplication to compare place value units. Remember to check in with your teacher, and I'll see you next time for another Eureka Math lesson. Bye!
Okay, so now I would like you to take out your student workbook, and I'm going to open up. Right here it tells us we're going to start with 1C. So you should be on page 1. I'm going to share my document camera so you can see my work also. Can you guys see my packet now?
You're working with those.
Good. Okay. So we're not going to do A and B right now together. We're going to do 1C.
Going to do
Okay, so 1C says 4 hundreds times 10 equals blank hundreds equals. So let's look back up here, and at number 1, that's where we have our directions. Bella, can you read the directions, please?
one minute.
Up here where it says label.
Label the place value charts. Fill in the blanks to make the following equations true. Draw a disk in the place value charts to show how you got your answer using arrays to show any building.
Arrows. We're going to use arrows to show any bundling. So we're going to start with letter C, and we need to start with 4 hundreds. So first, we need to label our chart. So we know that our biggest one that we've been talking about, our biggest place value is thousands, then hundreds, tens, and ones.
Little 1,000. There we go. 100.
And if you would want to abbreviate, you could probably just write thous for thousands, hundreds, to shorten it up, and tens and ones are already pretty short. Okay, so this is the information that they've given you. So which of these columns are we going to start in, Trace? What do you think? Where are we going to start drawing?
The hundreds.
How many hundreds, honey?
4.
Very good. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the information that they've given us. Now this tells us that we need to make it 10 times bigger. So let's see, who haven't I heard from? Nina, what am I going to do under each of these dots in my hundreds place? If we need to make it times 10.
You're going to make them. I don't know.
Okay, so think of this, Nina. These are 4. We want to go 10 times bigger. So if we want to make 10 more of each, what are we going to do under each of these dots? How many more dots should we draw under each one?
We should draw 9 under each one.
Very good, because we already have 1 there. We want to have 10 in each column. So I'm going to draw my 9 more dots in each.
9 in each row to make 10.
So we can fill in this first line. How many hundreds do I have here? I can count by tens. Who knows, how many hundreds have we drawn? If you know, you can unmute yourself.
How many hundreds? Sure, I don't think she can see your hand. Do the other hand.
If you know, just unmute yourself and tell me.
How many?
If anyone has said anything, I didn't hear you. I don't know if it was glitching out.
There.
How many hundreds do we have here? Not 4. Here's 10, 20, 30, 40. So we have 40 hundreds. Now we're going to bundle these together to make our thousands. So I'm going to bundle 10 to make 1,000. Another 10 hundreds makes our second 1,000. Another group of 10 gives us another 1,000. And then our last group of 10 gives us our final. So how many thousands do we have? If you know, you can just say it.
4.
4 thousands. So 40 hundreds equals 4 thousands. Steph, go ahead and read this whole line for us.
400 times 10, 400 goes 4,000.
Very good. Okay, so we had to do 1C together. Now we're going to turn the page and go to number 2. Now this is one that I think we're going to need to use your whiteboards for. Okay, let's have Olivia go ahead and read the directions for number 2.
Complete the following statements using your knowledge of place value.
Okay, so letter A, we have 10 times as many as 110 is how many tens? So we know in this one that we have one what?
Miss Shevchik, I have to go because I have a dentist appointment in like 10 minutes. So
Okay, good luck.
thank you. See you. See you later.
Thank you. Thanks for
Um,
coming.
you too.
Just sign off.
See ya.
Just leave everything open.
I'm trying to leave.
Okay, so in
Just
this
leave.
one, we have 10 times as many as 110. So go ahead and put your 110 there. And if we have to do 10 times as many as, what are we going to draw underneath this 110? Ten times as many, we're going to draw 10 total dots. Then you should be able to look at your board and answer the question. 10 times as many as 110 is how many tens? So if you look at my whiteboard, how many tens do I have here?
10 tens.
You're correct. So you're going to put a 10 for letter A.
Yeah, so we'll put 10 times.
Okay, letter B says 10 times as many as blank tens is 30 tens, or how many hundreds? Okay, so we know we have 30 tens. So I'm going to draw 30 tens in my 10 spot.
Where's your marker?
Okay, so let's think about that. How many, 10 times as many as how many tens is 30 tens, or how many hundreds? So what do you think for this one? So how many tens did I originally have to start with before I could get 30 tens? So we have to think backwards here. How many tens do you start with if after you multiply by 10, you have 30? So I would have had to start with 1, 2, 3 tens. So this is telling you that I have 3 tens, and then when I make 10 times as many, that's when I add my columns. So now we have to figure out how many hundreds is this. So go ahead and bundle yours together. And remember, for every 10
You have
tens, that gives me how many
and then 3.
hundreds?
You
Anyone know? Go ahead, Sean. 10 tens is how many hundreds?
300.
Well, not 10. 10 tens doesn't give you 300s.
no.
This one bundle here, Sean, is equal to how many hundreds?
What is she?
I think you gave me the final answer.
Huh. 100.
So look, what, honey?
1.
1. So I'd have to make 1 there. Then I'd have to go through and bundle my second group to give me my second 100, and then my third group to give me 300. So you're correct when you said 300. So on your paper, you're just putting the number 3 because it already has hundreds there for you.
Yeah.
Now, I think you could probably figure out with just the pattern what's going to go in letter C. It's a really long blank. Something as 9 hundreds is 9 thousands. So think of the pattern. What would we have to multiply 9 hundreds by to get 9 thousands? What have we been multiplying by? If you know it, you can just say it.
10.
10. So here, you're going to write 10 times as many as 9 hundreds is 9 thousands. Okay, and then the very last one, right here, it's asking us to use pictures to explain how we did D. So I'm going to just draw another place value chart here so I don't have to draw it twice. And label it thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. And then for letter D, I have to figure out how many thousands is the same as 20 hundreds. So I'm going to go to my hundreds place, and I'm going to draw 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if I look at my 2 rows here, how many thousands can I make out of my hundreds? How many bundles can I make? What do you think, Sarah? How many bundles of hundreds can I make into thousands? Go ahead, you're unmuted now. How many bundles can we make? Hold on, let me mute everyone else and see if that helps. Try again, Sarah. Sarah, talking to the computer. Is your microphone on? Because I can't hear you. Show me with your fingers then. How many bundles of hundreds can we make? Very good. So here's 1 bundle. 1 group of 10 gives me 1,000. Another group of 10 hundreds gives me another 1,000. So up here, I can put 2 thousands is the same as 20 hundreds. Okay, so then the last 2 problem sets for you guys to do, and I'm going to let you guys try these 2 on your own because we're at almost an hour, and I'd like to see, we really didn't have any time to do anything independently. So I want you to look at number 4, circle number 4 and number 5. Those are the 2 that I would like you to try on your own. And if you need any help, I'll still be here to help you. So I'm going to go back here to, going to go back to your Schoology page. So if you see, when we're in group A, it has everything for you to do today. This is the very last thing. So in the future, I might say, watch this video, and you're going to follow along with the instructions from the teacher. And then when we get together, we will do these problems together. So then tomorrow, at 1 o'clock, we'll be going over these 2 questions since it is the first day, and then I'll also be showing you how to do your sprints. So you only have to visit these videos tomorrow if you're not coming to my 1 o'clock Zoom. I'll show you how to do the sprint and fluency packet, and then we'll be working on any problems on page 1, 2, and 3 that were not completed today. Now, if you look up here, it says these pages do not need to be submitted to me. If you are not able to attend the Zoom, I'll record it and put it on the YouTube channel. Message me with any questions, and if you would like to rewatch the lesson, you can go back to Monday's folder. If you're confused with how to make the place value chart, you can go back to Monday and replay the lesson 1 video, because that would be just reminding you what we did today. And also, if you go to my YouTube channel, you could always rewatch this, because when I get done with this today, I'll upload that as, I'll probably call it September 21st Zoom, because I already have the other one labeled as September 21st lesson. Okay? That was a lot, wasn't it? I feel like this is a confusing lesson. I'm glad we get it out of the way to begin with. Is there anyone who has any questions about any of this, or what you guys need to do later or for tomorrow, or anything at all?
If we might not be home in time for the 1 o'clock Zoom, so can he just do that on his own?
Yep, and I made a video. It's me explaining the directions for the sprint, and then what was underneath there? Oh, and that it would just be finishing these couple pages.
Okay, so if he can't get on it, he's just supposed to do that, and we don't have to send that to you.
Right.
Okay. All right. We're gonna try to get an appointment at 11, so I'm hoping that we'll be back by then.
Pretty much from now on, the only things that you'll be submitting to me are the exit tickets at the end of the lesson, and anything else that I might need to use just to see for some grades.
Okay.
Everything else is just like practice, and if you have a question about something and you want to send it to me, then I can look at what he's doing. That would be great. Okay, anyone else have any questions? Okay, well, Sarah, you have a question, honey? You guys don't have any volume. Why don't we do this? If you don't have any questions and you're good with working on number 4 and 5, you guys can give me a wave and sign off and start working. And then Sarah, why don't you guys, I'll stay on the Zoom, but why don't you exit out and then get back in and get on again and see if your volume will work. And see if that helps. I'm going to stop recording this.